So I fell this week, and my two friends, Kat and Sandy, helped me a lot. It was an interesting adventure, another moment of learning about yourself and what's going on in life, and an interesting trip to the ER, which was super entertaining. So Kat and Sandy and I talk about all of that in this episode. Thanks for coming back. Go to wifeotp.com, and I still have all those great links for my friend Natalie's jewelry, for my friend Christina's skincare, and all kinds of stuff up there. So thanks for coming back. And I'm sure I'll get lots of emails after this episode about how I'm doing. I'm doing great. So thank you very much for everybody's concern. And I hope you enjoy this episode. It's super fun. Thanks for coming back. Why are we here today?
Because you went to the emergency room.
Because you took me? Yeah. Because you made me?
Yeah, because we made you go, remember?
Yes. She's like, I have too much to do today. I have to take the dogs to the vet.
But she's texting us because she can't talk.
Yeah. So for everybody listening and watching, I fell on Friday last week and really busted up my face. It was 6 a.m. and I got up to let the cat out. And about more than halfway to the door, I just passed out. I just totally dropped and woke up. The impact of hitting my face woke me up. And I found that I had busted my chin here on the tip of my chin. And my chin was cut open just below my lower lip. It's a big gash and it was kind of hanging open. And my teeth had gone through my lips on the inside. My nose was bleeding. My mouth was bleeding. My chin was bleeding. My other part of my chin was bleeding. And my kids were home, but I didn't want to wake them up because it was like a murder scene. So I just kind of handled it. I went in the bath. First thing I did was get ice. And then I went in the bathroom, in my kids' bathroom, and noticed that my chin was like hanging open. So I put it back together and like held the ice there and just kind of like was like, okay, 20 minutes on ice and then let's see what's happening. Let's just 20 minutes on ice. We'll see what's happening. I spent actually 30 minutes on ice and then went back. And by then everything had stopped bleeding, but the chin gash. So I thought, I'm just going to put this back together and stick a Band-Aid on it really tight and see if it stops bleeding. If it stops bleeding, I probably don't need stitches. It's not that deep. But if it doesn't stop bleeding, I'm probably going to have some stitches. But I got to meet my contractor in about an hour. So I'm going to eat something really quick and then make sure that I'm not hungry because everything's swelling, even though I iced. And so I made scrambled eggs and I cut up an avocado and I shoved it in through the side of my mouth and ate. And then I got in the car, which was super smart, and drove to meet my contractor where I had my mask on so he couldn't see that, I was a complete disaster. I just texted him on my way there because I thought to myself, when I put my chin back together, I thought, it's probably not a good idea to talk because if I talk, it's going to break it open. So I'm going to try to keep it closed with that Band-Aid so it'll start like healing, growing back together. So I just texted my contractor and said, I fell this morning. I banged up my mouth. It's really hard to talk. So I'm just going to text you while I'm meeting with you. So I go through the house and go through all this stuff. It's a 40-minute meeting. I'm texting him through the meeting because I don't want to talk. I get home. The inside of my mask is bloody. It bled through my Band-Aid. So I put another Band-Aid on. And then I text you guys for Drop Squad and I say, just so you know, I passed out this morning while walking.
No, you didn't say. You said you fell.
Oh, I thought I said I passed out.
No, you said you fell.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, you fell, you hit your head and blah, 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 but you're going to still work out. So we're like, how did you fall? I'm thinking you tripped.
Yeah.
So, but then that wasn't the case. Go on.
No, I didn't trip. But I thought it's not like I didn't assess myself throughout this morning. I kept going. I'm not dizzy. I wasn't dizzy when I passed out. I wasn't dizzy afterwards. I had no nausea. I had no weakness, no shortness of breath. I had no symptoms. Like there was no reason. I've passed out. When I was pregnant with Georgia, I passed out like 8 times. And so I know what it feels like when you're going to pass out. You have like this moment of, you feel really lightheaded and everything's kind of cloudy. And I mean, with her, I would say to someone, I'm about to pass out, so I'm going to lay down. Everything's totally fine. I'm just pregnant. And then I'll be fine when I'm back. And I would do that. I would lay down. It happened one time in my parking garage where I was showing a person the apartment. I was trying to rent them in the garage. And I was like, excuse me, I'm just going to lay down in this parking spot and pass out. But I'm totally fine.
But that was 16 years ago.
Yes, it was. I was a little younger. Georgia? I was pregnant with Georgia. Yeah, it happened constantly in my pregnancy with her. So whatever happened that made me fall wasn't anything like that. So I had no symptoms before or after. So I was like, well, I'll just work out and see if the chin stops bleeding. I was just worried about the chin and getting stitches. And do I need stitches? And am I really going to go to the emergency room in the middle of COVID? No, is what I kept saying. No, I'll just butterfly it together and I'll be okay. Why would I go to emergency room in the middle of COVID? That's crazy. So I worked out and I did a pretty good job.
So when you text us, it was a few minutes before we started to work out. You said you fell, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'm going to call you right now. You're like, no, I can't talk.
Yeah.
So then I text you and then I said, how did you fell? And you said, I passed out. I'm like, you mean you tripped and you fell and you passed out? And she's like, no, I passed out.
Right.
And then this is what happened. And I said, okay, I'm going to do the talking for you for Mikkel. And then I'm thinking, okay, she passed out. That's pretty serious. It's like, why did she pass out? And then she fucking worked out the entire time. And it was, Mikkel was just like, and like he didn't even read your text.
No, I know he didn't even read my text.
We made him.
Yes, he didn't read my text.
But it didn't matter. It didn't matter. He just did the same kind of workout, right? Did we jump that day? Maybe we didn't jump as much.
We didn't jump.
We did one thing and he asked me if it hurt and we stopped. I don't remember what it was.
We didn't do it. He was a little bit easier on us. But I mean, I can't believe you worked out. I can't believe your resourcefulness that you iced it and then you sort of, stitched it together with a bandage and I'm just not going to talk. And if that was me, I'd be like dialing 9. It would be drama. I mean, so much drama. I passed out once on a plane and I was like, what's her name from Gone with the Wind? It was like
Scarlett.
And I was like Scarlett O'Hara. And I think it was really because I realized I was in coach and not first class. Oh my God. It's just, and there was like, the oxygen mask and it was, but I was fine. I pass out sometimes, but
did you end up in first class?
No, they gave me an oxygen mask. But I wouldn't be like you, like ice Band-Aid. Oh, you said about your dad that just super glued his injuries back together.
Do you remember my dad was here and he'd super glued his head together? My dad had an RV, literal RV, fell on his head. Crazy. And it cut like a half moon shape, like the size of a golf ball, half moon shape, maybe a little bigger in the top of his head. And he just super glued it back together. He left a little weep hole so that it could drain and called it a day. But, he shattered his thumb with like an air hammer. And then it waited a week to go to the hospital or the doctor. And the doctor was like, it's already started to grow back improperly. Nothing I can do about it. So he built like this harness that pulled his thumb back and built himself a prosthetic thumb and a glove so he could continue to work. And healed his thumb, and he has like 90% movement in his thumb. Did it all by himself. I mean, when you say you're from the kind of family where you don't go to the hospital unless there's like a limb falling off, that's how I grew up. You just don't go. And I'm always alone. I'm never with somebody. I have to say, when I woke up, I thought I should call Sandy. And then I went, what's she going to do? What's she going to do? She's going to come over here and she's going to panic and it's going to make me panic. So I'm not calling Sandy. And then I thought I should call Kathy because she's an EMT. And then I went, what is she going to do? Drive all the way over here from where she lives, 30 minutes to get here? There's nothing anybody can do. I did what anybody can do. I put it back together. They would probably
take you to the emergency room.
And I wouldn't have gotten my workout in.
Yeah.
Crazy. But it's interesting, as we were talking about earlier, it's the lead up to that, like the passing out and, the constant, working and doing for everybody else.
Yes.
And then suddenly like some force will come and like just throw you down, you break your face and you're like, oh shit, maybe I need to slow down for a minute.
That's exactly right. I think that is what happened. When I was,
Did you tell her
What?
what Laylee said?
what did Laylee say?
Laylee thinks the spirit pushed you.
She's like, you know what happened, right? She doesn't have to go to the
She was
hospital.
pushed. I was
Oh
like,
my
okay,
God.
I'm pretty sure she was alone and the kids
Priscilla
were
was
asleep.
laying in the floor, her ghost, and I just tripped over Priscilla.
No,
Oh,
the
a
first
spirit
thing she
thing.
said that when I told her that Leanne fell, she said, didn't her Gigi, your mother-in-law, fell too?
Yeah, she did fall in my
So-
house.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
thinks there's someone
Someone
pushing,
pushing.
people.
Oh,
She said, was it the
interesting.
same spot? I'm like, oh,
No.
I don't know.
No, Gigi was in the backyard. She fell before we remodeled our house. We had that back door that had the steps to our laundry room, and she tripped on one of the steps and hit her eye
Oh,
on another cement step.
And that
But
sounds
that
like
spot doesn't exist anymore. It's under my bedroom.
the
so
ghost
there's-
is probably mad.
The ghost is, yeah, right? Maybe the ghost.
Well,
kicked me,
she just
pushed
thinks
me.
everything is
Yeah,
ghost
she's a bit
fault.
like that. Yeah.
She's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with her. There's nothing wrong with her.
It is an interesting, in looking back on this whole experience, right? I still have two sides of my coin. One side of my coin goes, yes, it was absolutely right to go to the doctor. I should have gone to the doctor. I can't believe I didn't think passing out was a big deal and that I needed stitches was a big deal. And I can't believe I even considered not going. And then there's the other side of my coin that goes, see, nothing's wrong. You knew it. You didn't need to go. See, that was all a waste of time. I still have that stubborn piece of my brain that goes, you were right. You didn't need to go. See, you were fine to work out. You totally knew what was going on. But I am glad I went because there is literally nothing wrong with me. I mean, they did MRI on my brain. They ultrasounded my neck, arteries and veins, my heart, my stomach, my rib cage. And they did like 8 blood panels. And the guy came in and was like, you were an extremely healthy person. So we're just kind of ruling things out here. I mean, at first they were like, it could have been a stroke, but it's not. The MRI is like, no, your brain's really healthy. Could it be brain tumor? Nope. Brain's really healthy. So I'm glad, but that stubborn blue collar daddy glues his head back goes, see, I could have just super glued my chin myself because you know what they did in the emergency room? They super glued my chin.
Yeah.
So
But I think it's that small, like 0.1% that you just don't know.
yes, true.
Because if you go around thinking, I know it's fine, then, you know, as we get older, that's going to come and bite you in the ass.
Of course.
I hate going to the doctor. I never go to the doctor. I'm pretty healthy. But, you know, if I don't feel good, I like to know for sure that there's nothing really wrong.
Totally. Yeah. I go to the doctor too. I get physicals every year. I'm not one to not go to the doctor. I just really didn't think I needed it. It was so silly. Now that I look at it, I go, that was really silly. If it had happened to either of you, I would have been like, we should go get you checked out. But it's also an indicator of what you said before, is that I was on a train, not taking care of myself,
Right.
and just moving to the next thing on my list. You know, when I was in the ER, we'll talk about the ER waiting room
The drama,
in just
yeah.
a moment, which was which is really the main reason for this podcast because it was very entertaining. But when I was sitting in that bed in the hallway,
in the hallway.
The hallway.
In the
yes,
hallway,
I
in the
saw that.
Just in
overflow.
the hallway.
they were walking me back and they went, so this is the overflow area? And I thought, wow, it's really busy. And I'm in the hallway, right next to where they push the button to open the door. So I was thinking to myself, I was speaking to my higher self going, what is this? Is this my brain? And the first thing that came into my head was exhaustion. And I went, no. Is this like cancer? Exhaustion. No, it can't be that. Is this something with my heart? Exhaustion. It was like my brain was answering before I could even finish the question to myself. And I went, I guess this is exhaustion because I'm really good at talking to my higher self and listening. Although I hadn't been listening lately about needing rest. But I think finally spirit pushed me, Laylee, thank you, and said, will you please listen to me? You're exhausted. And then when I was sitting in the hospital, I started thinking about when was the last time I remember not being overwhelmed? And I came up with September.
It's August.
It's August.
It's like 11 months ago, a year ago, basically.
It was September was the last time I remember not feeling overwhelmed.
And where were you? On vacation, maybe?
No, I was here at home and things were just kind of just clicking along, nothing major going on. But October started a Netflix special, which went into November, and we bought the house, and then the holidays, and then this
Pandemic.
other Netflix series that we were doing, and then the pandemic and the tour, and then the not tour, and then remodeling 2 houses and teaching a 16-year-old to drive and teaching 8th grade from March to June. And, my dog died. I got a new puppy.
2.
Shit
Two new
exploded.
puppies.
Yes, two new puppies. Yes. I got Izzy in September.
Yeah.
So maybe it was when Izzy came, it started. I mean, shit exploded out of an RV all over me. That's pretty stressful.
I didn't even tell you that.
No, I think you did, actually. I think I just blocked it out. Now that you mentioned it.
But it was traumatizing, I have to
I'd
say.
be traumatized.
It wasn't my shit. It was nobody's shit I knew. If it had been Sandy's shit, I would be less traumatized. But it was a stranger's shit. And I basically saw their menu. It was so disgusting.
Oh,
It was disgusting. I don't even want to relive that. I mean,
God, Leanne.
So that was very stressful.
In COVID.
In COVID, yes. And I had no gloves on. Was I even wearing a mask? I don't think so.
no, you were not.
No.
Oh, no. That is like...
No, and the best part was Bert was right next to her doing like that. Gagging.
Gagging so bad. And the thing is, he didn't touch any of it. I was like, I'm the
like
one.
gagging, and I'm just laughing and gagging at the same time. And there's shit, and she was so calm.
I was just like,
I'm gonna deal with this shit.
Leanne.
It's like
No
I'm dealing with this
wonder.
shit.
again, let's just get to the next moment. I just need to get to the next moment.
You're like,
just
I
need to
got to
get
meet
to
the
next moment.
contractor. Let me just clean this shit up and go meet the contractor.
Exactly. Let's get to the next moment. I think that's the way I have always been. Just
It's
get to the next
A
moment.
coping mechanism.
It is a coping mechanism.
But it's not working right now.
It's not working right now, for sure.
I mean, I'm sure it does work. It's gotten you pretty far and your life's pretty
Yes.
great. But,
yes.
there are moments where you just need to take time for yourself, which
Yes.
I don't think you ever do.
Not really, no. No. We went away right before the resurgence of COVID and went wine tasting for Kathy's birthday. But I even thought to myself,
right. Yeah, that's right.
I drove. I always offer to drive. Why do I do that? I'm always the one that goes, I'll drive. I'm always the one that goes, I can pick that up. Oh, who can drive the RV? I can. Was that stressful? Yes. That RV was hard to
Especially
drive.
with Bert yelling, Leanne, you got to tip over. Leanne, you're too fast.
It's so fucking hot in this RV.
45 miles per
the
hour.
refrigerator is falling.
I can't do that.
no.
I was stressing.
Too much pain.
I mean,
So-
in the back with him sweating, all of us, right? And then I'm drinking like 3 beers with him, and still like, I mean,
The
can't feel
refrigerator's
any.
falling.
The refrigerator's
I had
falling.
to ride.
Leanne, you need to slow down. And then I'm like, she's only driving 40 miles per hour
I
on
was
the
going
freeway.
the speed limit. I was like, listen, I'm not comfortable driving faster than the speed limit. So I'm driving the speed limit or less all the time.
And you had all 4 kids with you.
Oh, yeah.
all 4 kids with us.
No, the big kid is Bert.
Yeah.
The refrigerator's falling on somebody. I know it. I mean, the whole time Tom was driving from our cabin to the Grand Canyon, I had to stand and hold the fridge in place.
Was it loose?
It was loose. But Bert's not going to stand and hold the fridge in place. He's 240 pounds. I think he would be much better to hold the fridge in place.
It weighs
than
more
me.
than the fridge.
Exactly. Than the RV fridge.
My foot was. I was doing this and drinking
Drinking a beer.
She was sitting on the couch and holding it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that trip sounded really stressful, actually.
Yes, it was.
It was a bit stressful. It was really fun. But there was a lot of drama we will not discuss that was discussed ad nauseum constantly.
Yes, I
That was-
heard about. Well, you told me, and then you told me.
Oh my
I know
God.
about that drama.
It was-
but yeah, that's not for this. But
And then my husband, was constant activities. Like the itinerary was wake up, 8:00, breakfast. Okay, 2 jet skis. We got a boat, and then we're going to do tubing. We're going to do wake surfing. We're going to do this and that. And that's 2:00, and we'll take a break.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go
Lunch on
take
the boat, lunch on the boat.
and then jet ski back. We return the jet ski, and then we continue on with the boat, and then we do more surfing. I mean, it was just
yeah, that's your husband.
that's next day, same thing. Okay, today I got a faster boat. No jet skis. I'm like, thank fucking God, because we can't even relax on the boat.
No, because I have to drive. Here's another piece. Tom is tier 1, right? He is boatman number 1. He's captain, I'm co-captain. So he's captain, I'm co-captain. So somebody has to deal with the wave runners while he's dealing with the pontoon boat. So I'm wave runner captain while he is boat captain. So neither Tom nor I rested ever, which I think Tom actually really enjoys. And I enjoyed 80%, maybe 70%. But
Okay,
there's like
50,
30% of me was like, I want to be on the fucking pontoon boat. I never even got to ride on it.
Oh, you
because
never
I
did, right?
I never rode on the pontoon
that's
boat.
right.
Because I had to stay on one jet ski because Georgia was the only other person. Sandy wasn't comfortable on a jet ski. Bert didn't want to ride a jet ski because he's uncomfortable because he's too fat. So it's me and Georgia riding the jet skis. And my jet skis wasn't working. In Havasu, they have all this like seaweed. So jet ski works by sucking water through a jet.
It just was like
Clog it.
sucking up the seaweed.
So we kept having to get off and pulling reaching all the way under the jet ski and unclogging the
God,
jet.
it's like a theme.
Oh my God.
It's a
So the whole
theme
day
for
we
you, for the shit, the seaweed.
I mean, 2 jet skis, and we have to attend to it, and then we park it, and we have lunch, and then we always have to. Then we have to take it back. Then Leanne and I took it back with Isla. You gotta. That's
Yes.
really crazy. I
crazy.
forgot to tell you this.
So-
So we had to take the jet ski back, and we're waiting and waiting in line, and then finally they wave us in. They say, "Okay, it's your turn." So we got out, and then we returned the jet ski, and they're like, "Okay." And there was a family before us, and there was a family of 7,
It was 6.
6 or 7, right? And then they said they're gonna go in the van, and we were all like, "We're all going in the van." COVID?
It's a 10-person van.
Man.
6-person family and a driver. That's 7. Me, Sandy, Isla is 10. And
Okay.
we're like, no.
And we're like, no, we're not comfortable with this. And I said, can you radio in and tell my husband that, because he was returning the boat, to meet us back here. He can pick us here. You don't have to drive us back to the office. And then the guy radio, he's like, okay, I got the people here, but they don't want to get on the van with.
Well, the family of
Yeah.
6 was an African-American family. And I thought to myself,
No,
this guy is going to think I'm a racist. And I
Right.
don't want to ride in the van with
Yeah.
this family.
Yeah.
It's COVID. No
Yeah.
one has a mask. No, but we just got off a wave runner. I don't
Yeah.
have a mask.
Right.
And I thought, I'm going to tell him that, and I guarantee you he's going to think I'm being racist. So I'm thinking no. I look at Sandy, and she says no, and we say no, and he radios back. Yeah, could you tell this lady's husband to come pick her up at the boat ramp? They don't want to get in the van with the, and I went, that's not why we want to get in the van. It's COVID. We don't want to get in this van because it's too many people. It's like, you fucking asshole.
And moron. But
What an asshole. Yes.
To make people feel uncomfortable. Not just the family, but you too.
Well, I don't think the family heard what he was saying.
Oh, thank God.
But I knew it. We were in
Yeah.
the water, and I watched the 2 young boys pull the wave runners up on the. It was a 4 jet ski trailer. So I saw the 2 young men parked theirs on the trailer, and I thought they're going to put all
They
of us in
must
that
have been the
van.
only African American family there for sure, because
They
that's a
were.
very
Yes.
white.
Mhm.
They
And
were
you probably the only Asians, right?
Yes.
100%.
I was sticking next to them really
Yes.
tight. I'm like, I'm not going
Yeah,
anywhere.
and we
There
were
is
very aware.
Yeah.
Bert was like,
Yeah.
if shit goes down here, this is going to be bad. Just stick with me.
Oh my
Because-
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those kind of places are not my cup of tea because I'm not completely white myself. But yeah, well, good on that African American family to go out there and boat and have fun and not feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was one of the young men's birthday. It was his birthday. That's what he wanted to do. Was
Good for
ride wave
him,
runners.
yeah.
Heck to the do
Yeah.
whatever you want. But
Yeah.
I was so angry that guy
Jackass.
he just thought that. That's
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
Yeah.
a relaxing trip. No, that was not a relaxing
And then the
trip.
shit
No.
spewed the next day. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we
And
had a
then-
great time at the cowboy ranch, except that Cowboy Dave.
I heard about that the girls thought he was creepy.
Yeah.
He was
Yes.
creepy. He did not wear a mask, and he was singing all over us.
Yes, and then
Yeah,
he was
that's
singing
creepy.
about minors. Like, but I don't know what kind of minors that Kylie thought.
Not the ones in the coal mine. Like,
Yes, exactly. That's what she was like. Ew, creep.
Yes, he was very nice, but he was
What?
very
too
odd.
nice. Oh, dude.
He was very odd.
Yeah, that sounded like a trip that was eventful.
And it was 150 degrees. It was
Yeah,
how
no,
hot was
this
it?
is
Like 110.
so
It
hot.
was so hot. It was so hot.
Bert, the one thing Bert did was cook, right? He didn't do fuck all other than cook.
The one thing he should do is just cook.
Is
Yeah,
cook.
that's one thing.
That's when he's in his element.
Yes,
Yeah.
but boy, was he sweating? I
Oh
mean,
my God. Like,
it was like grrr, grrr. And I kept thinking, don't need to salt our food.
Oh,
It's probably all over the food.
Oh my God.
But yeah, he cooked every night. Yeah, that's he enjoyed.
So that
he
was your
enjoyed the trip.
vacation.
That was our
Yes.
vacation. And it actually was really fun. I don't want anybody to think it wasn't fun. I had a blast. And other than Priscilla
Yeah.
getting sick the last day,
Mm.
I thought it was a blast. Our kids had a blast, but it was not without a great deal of effort.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, both your husbands are kind of, high maintenance.
In their own way.
Yeah.
Like Tom will do anything for you, everything for you, but it is active.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
not relaxing.
No.
And Bert's not going to lift a finger. He's going to go, oh,
Like,
who put the cooler on the boat? Hey, Tom, you got some beer for me? You going to put the cooler? You got some ice for me, Tom? And Tom does it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, Tom, what the fuck?
and then I lost his cup, and then Tom gets him a new cup.
Tom treats him like he wishes I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not far behind, Tom. You do a lot for him.
I do a lot for Bert. I spoil him for sure. He's very spoiled. I don't know that I spoil him, but he's very spoiled. Makes sense?
Yeah. I mean, I think you both do a lot for your husbands, but that's coming from a single woman. So, I don't do anything for anyone except me. So I'm not likely to faint and bust my head open because I'm not running around in 6 different directions with 2 kids and husband and
Dogs.
dogs.
3.
I mean, when
3
you
dogs.
fell,
Stupid. Mhm.
I'm like, okay, I have to take Leanne to the hospital because you've got 2 kids, 2 dogs, online school. You've got 2 kids, 3 dogs, cat, chickens, online school. I mean, all the other women, they're all mums in the same situation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I'm the one.
Well, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Oh, it's fine. I don't mind. I mean, but that was surreal.
It was crazy. Let's just say Kat and I created a memory.
But how did you guys move around that place? It was so many people when we went at 9 o'clock.
It was packed. There was no
still
it was
packed.
standing room only. When we got there, I mean, we were there for 7 hours.
It was crazy.
When we got there, it
crazy.
wasn't so packed. But it was just, I was telling Isla and Georgia, there was a couple that came in, a wife in a wheelchair being pushed by the husband. And this was like, she was in so much pain. She was sobbing. We were all like, oh my God. Well, I was like, someone get a doctor. This
Yeah,
woman
take her
is-
in.
Take her in. Come on. We're fine. We'll wait 7 hours. And it was just crazy. And then there was the woman that hadn't pooed in 4 days. It's like,
Yes.
get out of town. Go get some X-Lax.
Yeah, right?
Wasting, time and money.
Yes.
And then people with mental health problems. Then when you went in, you went in, the thing was so packed that I was just giving up the seat because people
Right.
were like, really in bad, dire shape, and I couldn't, babies. I was like, oh, you want my seat? You want my seat? And but when we came back and you went in to see Leanne, I'm like, I'm going to wait outside because I didn't want to be inside. So the waiting room had spilled out into the parking
my
area, into the
gosh.
valet area because it was so packed.
Wow.
And there was a guy sitting on, everyone's keeping social distance, and there are 3 benches. And I was just standing there because there was no place to sit. And there was a guy sitting on a bench who he did a Leanne. He just fell off the bench and he hit his face right into the concrete. And these girls went, I was like, COVID, I shouldn't, I don't want to go too near. So these girls ran over and they turned him over and he started having a seizure.
Oh my God.
And of course me, I'm like, oh my God. I go running in and I'm like, seizure. Oh my God, code red, seizure. And there's people come out in their scrubs and they're like walking over there like they're sort of going to get a cup of coffee on a hot day.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh my God. And they just, like pick him up, put him in a wheelchair and just sort of roll him inside. It was crazy.
It was crazy. There was one point where there's this lady in a wheelchair by the bathroom and she starts going, I'm having a mental health episode. Security. I'm having a mental health episode. And Kat and I were like, what's going on? So security comes from outside and he goes, what is your issue, ma'am? And she goes, no one is wearing masks. Every person had a mask on.
Oh, yeah.
Every person. And he looks around and he goes, well, can you point out a specific person that's not wearing their mask? And she goes, they keep exposing their nose. They keep exposing, I'm having a mental health episode. And I was like, you certainly are.
Oh my God.
I may be soon as well.
It was, and like we were both starving. Of course, Leanne couldn't eat because she's like, teeth through the lip. And so I'm like, I got to go across the street to get some food. And I go over there and they're like, ma'am, what are you doing in this building? I'm like, I'm looking for food. And they're like, oh, it's closed. You got to walk to 3rd Street. That's when I texted you. I was in the liquor store and I'm 25 years sober next month. I was just looking at the red wine. Like,
not a bad idea today.
Right now. Instead, I had a protein cookie that tasted like, chemicals and plastic. But that was crazy.
It was crazy. There was a guy who probably weighed 300 pounds, who had both feet bandaged. Like bandaged
God.
like it looked like a cartoon.
Yeah, they were like, he had his feet were swollen. I mean, he was obviously really unhealthy. He was sitting there drinking a Pepsi or a Coke.
In one sitting, he drank the whole, whatever big soda. And he was talking to himself quite a bit. And then the one lady across from us was like, I've got blood clots in my leg.
She said that
They're
when we
itchy."
pull up the parking lot, she was leaving the emergency room.
Oh,
and then
bless her heart.
And Kat is like, oh, she had blood clot. She's just leaving now. And I'm like, she knows everyone.
Well, remember the guy in the wheelchair and the doctor comes out and goes, so your prostate is infected. And we were all the way across the room. I was like, that's private information.
And this guy on the phone, so Lenny's liver is failing. You might want to get over here. I was like, oh my God. His prostate's shot. I was like, oh my God, Lenny's dying.
This guy's prostate's infected. She's having a mental health episode. This guy's drinking Pepsi in one shot. Clearly something's wrong with his feet. This woman's writhing. I was diagnosing her. I was like, she definitely has kidney stones, 100%.
God.
And then the lady that didn't poop. So when you go in the emergency room, they take you in the back and take your vitals and say, hey, what's going on? Right? So I was doing that and they just have 2 people in one room curtained off. So she was on the other side of the curtain and they were doing an EKG on me. So it was quiet where I was. And this guy brings her in and I can't see her. But he goes, so what's going on? She goes, first of all, I have a lot of medical professionals in my family. So I'm going to have a lot of questions for you. And I was like, okay, this is a career emergency room person right there. So she goes, how long is this wait happening? I mean, how long am I expected to sit here? What's this turnaround like? And he was like, I need to know what your condition is, why you are here. What are your symptoms? And she goes, well, I haven't had a bowel movement in 4 days. And he goes, okay.
Because you're full of shit.
Literally. He goes, okay. Any other symptoms happening? She goes, well, I have celiac disease. So I'm concerned that I'm like compacted or impacted and there's causing some kind of inflammation in my body because of celiac. So I needed to come and have it checked out urgently. And he goes, okay. Any other symptoms? No other symptoms. But then she started rattling off these other questions. And I think my EKG woman came in. I didn't hear it. But I got a glimpse that she was, she had a hat on, a certain hat. So I saw her come back out and I leaned over to Kat and I go, that woman hasn't shit in 4 days. That's why she's here.
No emergency room situation.
How about a fleet enema? How about trying an enema? That'll
How
take
about
care of
drinking
you.
some water? She looked like she could use a little bit of water.
Maybe some fruit, fiber.
God, people are so unhealthy.
It was crazy. It was
Yeah.
crazy. So when I was in the overflow hallway, there was a nurse walking by who was clearly finished with her shift with another nurse. They had their little lunch boxes, and I think I was by the exit door. And she goes, crazy in there. There's 100 people in the ER. I've only ever seen 60 as the most. It's crazy. And I thought, wow, what is going on? Because the COVID patients are going to a totally different part of the hospital.
Yeah.
So the emergency room I was in is like a regular functioning non-COVID, as if there was nothing else going on in the world, emergency room.
Yeah.
And I thought, what in the world is happening in the universe? Is like Mercury in retrograde? What's going on?
You know, it's been really weird because I was at my AA meeting last night and I just feel like there's been some really weird energy lately. I just finished that movie and you know, it was a nice experience. Everyone was really nice. No one got sick, thank God. And it was the only movie shooting in LA. But there was just a really weird energy. Like I think, I don't know, everyone has just got this pent up anxiety because of the pandemic. But the energy is really, have you noticed it? There's been like a weird edge the last couple of weeks. I've been feeling a bit off, definitely.
Well, the heat is not helping.
Yeah.
Well, the heat's not helping, but I feel like it's a bit of toxicity out there. I feel like people are just angry, maybe. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
of course
that
people are
could-
angry
yeah.
because this has been going on for how long now? And there's so much, like every day, you know, it's like, oh, you know, this is 180,000 dead people. And it's like crazy. And
Yeah, it impacts
we're
every
opening
part of your
schools,
life.
And it's like, oh my God, I'm like, do I move back to England? And I'm like, no, it's just as bad. It's a really crazy time.
It is crazy. And you know, it affects every aspect of your life. For most people, it's highly affected your finances, your
Yeah.
stability, your social network, so your mental health in some way, because like it or not, we're social beings.
Yeah.
So if you don't have any kind of freedom in your social network, that affects you. Your kids are home. People are working from home. You know, Kathy is like, I spend my entire day in the kitchen because Steven is in the bedroom at our desk. My kids are in their room or they're in the living room working. So I just stay in my kitchen all day. And at a certain point, I'm like, I got to get out of my house. But where can I go? Can't go anywhere.
Is she working from the kitchen?
She's baking constantly just to have something to do
Yeah.
because she's stuck in the kitchen. I mean, she has like a dining room table and somewhere to sit in her kitchen, but she has like an eat-in area. But I was like, yeah, I didn't think about it. Her husband usually gets up and is out of the house by 5:30 in the morning, and she has her room and a little more freedom. And he's on conference calls. Everything's a Zoom meeting, so she has to be quiet. She can't, you know, not that she's
I
a
get
big,
it.
crazy
I mean,
loud.
it's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
What a lunch lady.
Yeah,
all
I
the
know.
time,
You
yeah.
guys, I don't know how
I mean,
you do it.
they text me now. The girls can't leave their class. They have to have the camera on all the time. So they're texting me like, "Hey, my toilet is not flushing." Okay.
Send
Oh, my
Leanne
AC,
over.
can you turn it lower because it's really hot? And I'm like, I am the lunch lady. I'm not the janitor. Your dad could be the janitor. Can you text him?
Right.
He's like, oh, he's on the call. Fuck, hey, man. I'm like, lunch lady, janitor.
I mean, I think for you guys, it must get to the point where, you know, it sometimes do you feel like it's a bit thankless sometimes?
100%. For me, yeah.
Yeah, that's hard.
It is. I definitely feel that one of my children totally takes me for granted. 100%.
Is it that child's age though? It's not the child as a person.
No, I think it's been who she's been pretty much her entire life.
Interesting.
The other one doesn't. But
You have a similar situation.
Yeah.
you do?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I go,
you do.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I don't deserve that at all. I don't deserve to be spoken to that way. I don't deserve to be not thought of in that way. To the point where, you know, tomorrow's my 50th birthday. I had said to Bert, I know she's not going to get me a gift because I don't remember the last time she's gotten me a birthday gift. And that's going to really hurt my feelings.
Oh.
So I'm going to need you to make her buy me a gift. And I know that I'm telling you to make her do that,
But
but I need it.
yeah.
So can you make her buy me a gift?
Yeah.
And she actually loved it. But she's not ever going to go, you know, it's mom's birthday coming up. The other one has had a gift for me for a week.
Oh.
You know, so you go, that's how you'd like to be thought of. Not even for a special birthday. In general, it's my birthday. I do a lot for my kids. It would be
Yeah.
nice to have that kid, especially that kid, buy me a gift, you know?
But you let your kid know when she's being like that.
I let my kid know too.
Yeah.
Oh, she knows. I tell her. And I don't know if she doesn't care or if it doesn't register or if it doesn't stick or if it's just not her personality or if it's just not her wheelhouse. I really don't know because I've been letting her know for a long time. So,
Yeah. I think I was a bit like that with my mom. Now that I think back, I feel like I was a bit of an asshole, but it wasn't that I didn't love my mom or like my mom. I just wasn't in that headspace. I suppose I was just a selfish person. And as you get older, you know, you kind of realize that you want to change and be a better person. But at that time when I was that age, forget about it.
right.
You're like, that's her job to
Yeah.
be a mom. That's her job.
Mhm.
Your job,
do-
your
to-
choice.
yeah.
I mean, you know, it's
Yes.
like, I didn't
It's
ask for this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's hard.
It is hard. It's hard. I'm not glad that this accident happened. I don't think I'm finished with what's wrong. I'm really worried that my teeth are going to need a root canal because this front tooth is really tender. But I am not going to the doctor until my mouth is healed because I cannot.
Oh, you can go
imagine
back to the
taking
emergency room.
No,
We're never going to that emergency
No.
room again.
you know what's so funny is you're texting me going, you need to go to the emergency room. You're texting me going, you need to go to the emergency room. I hadn't told Bert this had happened because I didn't want to wake him up. Because what can he do? He's just going, this is what I thought. He's just going to drive me crazy. I got to meet with a contractor and I got to work out. I'll tell him when I'm done working out. That's literally what I said because what he's going to psycho call me, constantly worried. And I don't want to deal with that. That's me having to take care of him. I need to take care of myself. So what I need is to butterfly my chin back together, have a meeting and work out, and then I can handle Bert's emotions. That's how, but see, that's part of my childhood is that I put myself on the back burner and manage things so I could see how I could better manage my mom.
Right.
So I can't just say, hey, here's what's happening. Like I broke my ribs when I was about 8 and I didn't tell my mom for a week because first of all, I didn't want her to know because I didn't want to be weak in front of her. I didn't want her to have a
lesser opinion of you?
a leg up on me. I didn't want her to have to be stronger than me or me be in pain and be vulnerable. That was very scary for me with her. So I didn't tell her for a week. I actually never told her. She just caught me crying and was like, what's going on? And I told her I had a big bruise. So stupid. And she took me to the doctor and the doctor was like, yeah, it's already started healing improperly. Didn't I just say that about my dad's thumb?
You did. You did.
That's so stupid. But she was like, there's nothing we can do except break it again. And I was like, pass. It was so painful. But I had to manage myself before I could let anybody help me or if I needed to care for anybody. My dad was very similar too. I loved my dad. I have a great relationship with my dad. But if anything was wrong, I had to almost handle it first before I brought it to him, because he has always been very fragile. Very, very fragile person. So I would have to figure out my solution. Like, here's what happened and here's what I've done to fix it. I just need you to know it's happened, kind of thing. Instead of, hey, I've busted my face open and I need some help. There was never that place for me as a child. And maybe that's part of my personality, what we were talking about before. Maybe that's who I was anyway, or maybe it was how I coped with who I had as parents, because I had one parent that was very fragile and the other one that was completely unsafe. So there was nowhere for me to go with anything like an injury. I mean, I used to get sick and not tell anybody. I got salmonella when I was in college, and I was living close to my dad's. So I was so sick. I went to his house. He literally put me in my room and closed the door. Never checked on me. Never brought me water. Never brought me soup. Never. He was like, Leanne's sick. I don't know. So I didn't have that.
Right.
It wasn't in his wheelhouse. I ended up actually driving myself to Atlanta, pulling over and like, literally, this is so gross, pooping on the side of the road because salmonella was so aggressive, because my mother, I knew, would know what to do, because my dad didn't know what to do. And I got to her and she did. Her neighbor was a doctor. The doctor got me diagnosed, got me medication. It was horrible. But my dad never even thought maybe I should take her to the doctor. This is pretty bad. So does that give you any insight as to why I go butterfly patch? I'm
But
good.
you know, it's interesting. If that had happened to one of the girls, there'd be no question.
Oh, I'd go right away to the urgent care. Yeah.
No question.
100%. Yeah. It's amazing how your psyche works. It's amazing to me, as much work as I've done on myself, that I have run myself into the ground and off in a ditch. That's basically what happened.
Yeah.
I ran myself into the ground to the point where I have injured myself from not paying attention even, or demanding that I be cared for. To say, this is another thing I discovered when this guy came and gave Bert and I these 2 personality tests and like value tests. And that was the impetus for me starting this podcast. Was in that test, he said I was 98% other focused, which is actually not healthy and is a direct result of childhood trauma. You become other focused. And after he told me that, I started thinking about that, and I thought to myself, I think that what I learned is other people's wants I view as a need, but my needs I view as a want. So they're optional.
Yeah.
So I need to go to the ER. No. That's optional. My kid, it's not optional.
Right.
So I think that's what I learned and what I was taught growing up. Your needs are optional. My needs are what needs to go on. So I had been doing really well, probably until September, of keeping myself with my needs as needs. And then we got so busy that my needs can always go on the back. My needs go on the back. I know how to do this. I know how to put my head down and push through. This I can do. But really, I can't.
No, nobody can.
Nobody
I
can.
can't. So I'm right back. I'm just discovering this now as we're talking. I'm right back where I was when I started the podcast, of 98% other focused, to the point where I fell, busted my mouth open, and ended up in the hospital overnight. And that's really not okay, and a shame that I can't seem to learn that lesson as hard as I try. That lesson's really hard for me for whatever reason. Maybe
Well,
I don't.
I think it's hard for a lot of people. I know for me, you know, changing my life and the way I feel about myself took years of like, you know, constantly analyzing my thoughts and my behaviors and my feelings. And, you know, I had to kind of change the thought pattern and then change the behavior change the behavior, change the thoughts, change the thought, change the behavior. And then eventually I started to feel a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for me, I have to take care of myself because otherwise, but I'm in a much different position. I don't have, this menagerie of things going on.
Right.
But even, as a single person, it's like you still could, at work, it's all encompassing. I just go on and on and on and on and on and not do anything for myself. But I think it's the same for you too. Your schedule packed.
Your schedule is packed, Sandy. You're always run.
Run. I think this pandemic has actually taught me, it's like, slow down. It has been really nice to just kind of slow down and take things easy. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, I've looked back and say, wow, you know what? There's a lot of things I could work on, and just kind of slowing down. We do not need to be running constant.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tom's home now, so he takes a lot, like half the load. I mean, he does a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
And so I could only imagine for you, you had no break on this pandemic.
No.
You actually did more on
Yes.
this. So
That's right.
it just, everybody had a break,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think you did.
No, I don't think I did either.
I think this pandemic for me was actually great. I mean, in a way, because I got Tom home.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get to actually enjoy the girls.
Yeah.
Right.
And not having to run them to places, this and that, all
Yeah.
over. So I've taken the time to kind of, and I'm way better taking care of myself than you.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
I mean, you get massages.
Yes,
you
yeah.
go
No,
on, you
I
sit
do.
down, have
I
a glass
sit
of wine, you
yes.
take a break.
I take a break and I'm like, you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
And Tom would say, hey, you need something? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Can you
yeah.
make dinner tonight?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm okay delegating.
Yeah.
And which I was telling Leanne, she's not.
No.
I said, it's okay to say, go ahead, you do that. Hey,
Yeah.
why don't you ask? Hey, Bert, can you do this for me?
Well, the problem with
Yeah.
Bert is
Bert is the
I do
problem.
ask.
Mm-hmm.
He's very unreliable. So then I stop relying.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go, I'm not even going to ask. I'm just going to do it myself. Because I do ask, and he asks me to ask.
Yes.
And he wants to be that person who goes, yes, and I will do it right now. And he just is not that guy.
Yeah.
So then, stupid as, can you take out the trash? I use this example all the time. I almost never ask him to do that. It's just the one that pops in my head. Yes, I am going to get my phone, and then I'll be right back to take the trash out. Never comes back.
He doesn't follow through.
He just doesn't think.
Yes.
His brain is onto something else, and he doesn't do it because he's a dick. He does it because his brain is onto something else. And I will say, hey, dude, garbage. Could you do the garbage? Just stop what you're doing right now and do the garbage. I got to just post this one thing, and then as soon as I post it on Instagram, and then a phone call comes in, and now I've lost him again. That happens with everything. Everything. I get what I get with him. He loves to cook. That's a positive. So most days he'll cook dinner if he's home, and I don't have to ask him. And he usually doesn't like what I cook and complains about it anyway. So win-win. That's one thing he does take off my plate.
That's good.
But, and if I'm making the bed now in the pandemic, we don't have anybody helping us clean. He'll stop and help me. But if I said, hey, could you go make the bed? It would
No.
never happen. He'll always stop and help me if he sees that I'm in the middle of something. But that's very different than offloading, than saying, hey, can you do this? And like I was saying to Kat earlier, he was so panicked in the pandemic. Only one person, me, did all the shopping. So I did, he would go to the grocery store in the past and buy all our groceries. He loves to grocery shop. That stopped.
You probably save a lot of money.
We did save a lot of money. That is accurate. And my refrigerator was not as packed sometimes. But that's something else that became my responsibility. Every morsel of food in the house, I got. So, of course, I Instacart some things. But some things you have to, I don't want to Instacart a piece of fish.
Yeah.
I want to go to the store and
And look
choose
at
that
it, yeah.
piece of fish.
Yeah.
I can Instacart Cheerios all
Yeah.
day long.
Yeah.
But still had to go to the store. If the car needed service, that'd be me. And he's home and he's working, But I don't get what you get with Tom. He doesn't do that. It's not in his wheelhouse.
Oh, we know.
I know you know. Like Havasu, was that an eye opener for you?
Oh my God. This is his one job is to cook because Tom is running around getting all the supplies, getting a portable AC, trying to get the cooling the RV.
Tom worked his ass off.
And so the one thing he has to do is cook. So the meats are already marinated and he has to figure out what, device to use to cook. So
Oh my God.
barbecue. The guy showed me and Leanne, this is the barbecue you can use. There's 2 grills. And this is the table for this grill. And then we showed it to Bert and he said, no, how could it doesn't fit on this table. So we're going to put it on the ground, but it doesn't reach the propane. So how are we have to attach it to the RV.
We got to screw this bracket onto the side of the RV.
We're
and I was like,
no. And we're sitting there. He's like, it just doesn't work. Should we just order pizza? I mean, should we just, Postmate pizza? We're like, we're camping, dude. And he's like, how are we gonna do this? It's too hot. And so we're trying to work out. So with the 3 of us sitting there, standing there,
I kept going. The guy showed me this. It was a stand. It wasn't a table. It was like it looked like a luggage stand.
Right.
There was no solid piece. It was like 2 big pieces of metal.
Right.
And
we
like,
tried this way, we tried this way, and this way. And then Tom's on the phone. He comes over.
watching the
What's
3
happening
idiots.
here, guys? So we don't know how to do this. And without even hesitating.
He just did it.
No, he just put the leg down, dump. And Bert is like looking at him. Can you just make it a little bit easier so I don't look like a complete dick? Just like a little bit, like make it like struggle a little bit. He just went in, doom, this, and he walks away. And we're all
still on the phone call, wasn't he?
Yes.
He just went goo and put it on the stand.
He just has that brain.
He
Tom.
does have
He
that
has
brain.
that brain.
The generator wasn't working, right?
yeah.
So we had no AC. So he goes to Lowe's or wherever and buys a portable AC that we hook up in the passenger seat of the RV and hose it out the side window. And we cut up a big Doritos case box to seal off the window.
Yeah.
So we have AC because we're
Yeah.
like, this AC is not enough. It was 180 in Lake Havasu. So then the generator keeps turning off, right? And we're like, what the fuck is going on? So Bert's like, I don't know what's going on. This is after when we were unplugging, we were about to drive again. And driving without AC, as we experienced before, was not super pleasant. Except for me with the driver. I had plenty of AC. So Tom goes around to the generator and he starts futzing around with it. And he comes back in and he goes, it has no oil. And we're like, perfect. And Bert was like, that was the most impressive thing I've ever seen. That was the most impressive thing I've ever seen. Tom goes over there. He just fucking figures it out. And then Tom goes, well, this is what I did. I went, is it getting air? Is the air filter clogged? No. Okay. Is it getting, is it igniting? Yes. Okay. That's working. Well, let's check the oil. Oh, there's no oil. That's got to be the problem. Fixed it. Go buy oil. And Bert was like, your fucking brain. How did you even do that?
He has that brain.
Your brain. Bert
He's
would
like, I'm having a man crush. I think Tom's so sexy. He figured out that.
But see, now, if I had done that, he would have told me, you're cutting my balls off. You're totally emasculating me in front of Sandy and Tom. Stop doing that. If I pick up a tool in front of someone else, he says, stop doing that. You're emasculating me. Do you really need to show everybody you know so much about tools? And I'm like, dude, go for it. You take the tool and show me you know more than me. I don't give a shit. I just want to hammer the thing back in the wall. That's all I want is to get it done.
Yeah.
He's such a pain, that guy.
No, we're trying to and he and I are really kind of similar because I'm not very good with this stuff. And there was like one time we couldn't figure out how to turn the shit on. Like, well, how come it's not turning on? Fucking, it's not turning on. And then Tom comes in. What's the problem? We're like, it's not turning on. He's like, the fucking power's off, you dumb shit. And then we're like, well, dumb shit. It's like a burst. Like, let's have another beer. It's really, he just calls us dumb shits.
There were two teams on this trip. There were two teams.
Because Leanne was busy driving.
I was either driving.
You and Tom doing everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
Tom has to take a call.
You and Bert drinking and like
Yeah, couldn't even turn the power on.
Couldn't
and
even
trying to
turn the
manage
power
the
on.
refrigerator.
which I was grateful for.
Yeah.
I'm not a great cook. I'm an excellent maker of desserts, but I'm not a great general cook. I'm really not. I don't enjoy it. I'm not curious about it. I don't really care, but I like to eat good food. I just don't really care enough to figure it out. I'd much rather order it or go to her house. So I just
Sandy's
don't.
a very good
An amazing
cook.
cook. And so
Tom,
is
too.
Tom.
Yeah.
And so is Bert.
Yeah.
So I go, I have a great cook. He's just
Yeah.
not here every day. So I was grateful. But yeah, Tom did.
Tom has that kind of brain, though. I mean, he really,
does.
really, you imagine working with him. He makes everybody look stupid.
He made us look really stupid.
He makes everybody
I mean,
look
there
stupid.
was like, there's points where like, oh shit, I guess we're dumb.
No,
Not
he
dumb.
does.
I mean, he
makes-
just comes in and it's like, boom, boom, boom. I mean, how long did we kind of mess around with that fucking table for the grill?
Oh my God, forever.
I mean, we're
We
like
were
this
like
way,
three-
we're like this way, we can't fit this way, it won't fit this way. And then-
We were like three Cro-Magnon people trying to figure out fire. And he comes in and goes, chick, chick, done. That's what it was. We were like,
it's the heat. We're like, Bert and I were like, it's the heat. It was too hot to think. It's too hot to
and
think.
I'm adamantly yelling. I guess I yell when I don't know I'm yelling. This is the one he told me
you
to
are so
use.
defensive. You're like, this is what he told me to do.
He told me this one.
Do.
This was the one. What do you want from me? It's definitely not that one. The other one is round. They don't fit. This is it. At that point, too, Bert had been really shitty to me all day. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then
oh yeah.
as soon as we got the grill going, he pulled me aside and said, I'm having so much anxiety on this trip and I've taken it out on you and I'm really sorry. So I
At
think
least
by
he
the time
acknowledges it.
we got to the grill stand, I had all I needed of the day. I had all I needed of the day. And so thankfully he was like, yeah, maybe I'm being a dick. Maybe I should apologize to my wife.
You don't ever tell him you're being a dick?
Sometimes, yeah. But it doesn't usually work. So I have
That
to
just
wait till he
starts an
figures it
argument?
out.
Yeah.
Yes. He gets really defensive.
You guys have a lot of patience, both of you. You have so much patience.
I have a lot of patience.
She does.
Sandy
Yeah,
does
you
too.
do too. You have
Sandy
a
has
lot.
a lot of patience. Sandy has a lot of kindness. I think you approach things from a very kind point of view and a want to understand and not react.
Well, it depends. This one time, we were in Atlanta.
Oh.
Well, not even Atlanta. We were in Fayetteville or Peachtree City or some shithole. Sorry if you live in Fayette, but it's just not my cup of tea. And that we were moving, and I pull up, and
She
I
saw
see
a side of me.
Sandy and this moving guy, and she's screaming at the top of her lungs, "Get the fuck out of here! Your face is butt ugly, and I never want to fucking see it again." I was like, "Oh my god, what is
yeah, she
happening?"
saw the side of me.
And
so,
she's like, "You're fucking useless. You suck, and you're ugly,
Oh
and
my
you're
God.
stupid."
and you smell bad.
I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
"What is happening?"
That's hysterical.
yeah,
I
I
don't
was
think I've ever
so
seen that.
upset with him.
Yeah.
Like if something really triggers me to the point, I can get really nasty.
How funny.
To the point, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking take a picture. He said, "Don't." I said, believe me, I don't want to break my fucking camera, but I need to document this. I'm gonna send it to your fucking boss. And you're gonna get fired. And you're gonna be dumb. You are a dumb piece of shit.
Oh my
I was
God.
like,
It
get the
was-
fuck
What
out of
did
here.
he do?
He's some. I don't remember. It
He was
wasn't.
late.
Oh,
I mean, not
Wasn't
just
any-
because
he
he was
just had a bad. He was really rude. He was
really rude, and then yeah, he was a mover, but he was late, and he just would not. I pay for his move, but he would like, here, I'm wrapping this, and I'm not moving this because I'm late for my appointment.
Yeah, something.
But
like
he was
that,
late
something
coming here,
ridiculous.
so he left all the shit. I'm like, no, you're moving in. You're moving the shit in. He was just trying to take advantage because
Yeah.
I'm a woman,
yeah.
and there was no one there. Me and my
He
two
was like
kids.
an Eastern European guy, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was just like looking at lowly women. I mean, he was just that guy, you know. He was just a misogynistic guy. But, you know,
But she saw the side.
I
of
saw
me,
it. I was
and
like,
she's like, oh shit, I'm never gonna
wow.
mess with you.
Wow. Because, yeah, I mean, I can be really intense.
Oh, yes.
Too. I can be really intense, but that was a shocker. But you don't get like that.
Oh,
I don't-
yes, I have. I haven't in a long time. But like when I got mugged in New York City, I beat the guy up. I beat him up. I beat him to the ground. And at the time I weighed 110 pounds and I was cursing. I was like, you fucking piece of shit. Take my money. and got his hand and like rigged his hand around and just started hitting him with my forearm and got him completely on the ground. And then the second guy who mugged me at gunpoint. And when he showed me his gun, I went, "You are a fucking useless human being. I work for my money. I don't walk the streets at 5 a.m. and take people's fucking money." And I took it out of my purse and threw it at him. I walked around the corner to the police station, got in a police car, drove around the corner and had him arrested. I was like, "Fuck you, you piece of shit. Don't take my money. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to wait tables. You take my money?" So, and the police was like, "Don't ever do that again."
Yeah.
But that's probably, he probably just didn't know what to do with you.
Yeah.
Because I did it with both times.
Yeah, no, I'd be just like, "Here, take the money."
I was like, I worked so fucking hard for this. I'm taking a bus for 30 minutes at 5 in the morning. You're going to take my goddamn money?
Yeah, no, that sucks.
For what? To go drink something? I was talking all kinds of shit to that guy, and I was backing him up. I was like physically backing him up while I was digging in my purse. So yeah, I have it, but I don't need to use it much.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you do. Then that way you
Think I
don't.
need to use it with Bert?
No, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But you are the rock. Like,
Yeah, I mean, and
for
that-
the
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
to the thing, and then when you like the rock, sometimes needs a little bit of rest too.
Well,
To like shades,
You're
you know,
not
you
the
need
Iron
somebody.
Lady.
Yeah, you're
No.
not. You know,
Mikkel said something to me one time. I forgot something. We'd all left, and I forgot something in the pit and had to go back. And we started chit-chatting about something, and he was with another client, so the three of us were talking. And I don't know how this came up, but he said to me, "You know, Leanne, you are the vessel. Most people are just passengers, but you're the vessel. That's why everybody depends on you. So you got to know that God made you a vessel. You came here a vessel, and everything in your life has led you to be that vessel over and over again. Doesn't mean the vessel doesn't need caring for, but you have to know your role in life. From everything you've told me from the beginning has been that of a vessel. Vessels sometimes need more care in a different way than a passenger. So you have to just watch that."
Mm-hmm.
And this morning, I remembered, I hadn't thought about that. I remember that. I was like, the ship hit an iceberg on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and I now need to go in for some serious repairs. Because he's right. I am the vessel. I was the vessel for my parents. I was
Your husband.
I was
No.
my parents' keepers starting at age 4.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I know how to be. I don't really know how to be a passenger. So for someone like Sandy to show up and say, "You need to ask for help," that is really foreign to me. I don't really know how to do that. I think I fake it sometimes and really try to know how to do that, but I don't think I really know how. I think I know how to be a vessel. What I think I need to learn is how to better care for that vessel, as to how to say she needs to go in the dock for like
you can be a
day.
passenger
maintenance.
sometimes. It's
Yeah.
like, hey,
I just
you
don't know
what?
that I
Just-
know how to do that.
But
That's-
baby steps. So maybe,
Yeah.
the vessel needs to go in for maintenance.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Get patched up.
Yes.
Mhm.
I don't know that I need.
You
I
are,
don't-
yeah, we need you to come back as a vessel because
Yeah.
Bert Kreischer has
Oh my
fucking
God.
called me, psycho called me
I can only
What's
in the
that?
imagine.
emergency room.
Oh,
When
psycho
she,
calling you?
oh my God.
I apologize.
No,
For that?
I said, you need to stay calm. He's like, she's going to be okay, right? She's going to be okay, right? I was like, yes, she's going to be okay, but I'm not the doctor. She's going to be okay, right? Because, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to move in with you. I mean, I mean, you're looking at your new roommate. I'm like, Bert, calm down. There's nothing wrong.
But once
with her."
again, that's all about him.
Yeah.
This is affecting me. I'm moving in with you, so you can take care of me.
He said, what am I going to do? What? I mean, it's like, calm down. He was very calm when he talked to you. And
He was very good when he talked to me.
yes,
when
I
he
said, you
called
need to be
me-
calm down, buddy.
He called me and he said, "You don't need to think about anything.
Yeah.
I will handle the kids. I will handle the dogs. I will handle getting you pajamas." And I'm thinking, he's just going to call Sandy. He's just going to call
No,
Sandy.
he came
He's just
in
gonna call
talking to
Sandy.
Georgia. I said, Georgia, you got a call from your dad. He's like, oh, sure I did. Now I have to be the man of the household now. He's like, Georgia, you got to step in. You got to be the man of the household. So I am being the man of the household, whatever that means, Georgia said.
Poor
Whatever.
Georgia.
It's like,
And then Isla's like, yeah, so can I sleep over at Lily's? I was like, really? And then I thought about it, and I had a moment with her. I fell. I went to the contractor. I worked out, and then I woke them up because I thought I had myself together. I didn't really have myself together. I actually didn't become emotional until I woke my kids up.
Then did you lose it?
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to do that. I thought I was going to keep it together, get it all under control. I woke the kids up and I went, I hurt myself pretty bad. And Sandy and Kat think I need to go to the emergency room. And Bert just called Dr. Drew, who said she needs to go right now. So I think I'm going to the emergency room. And that's when I started crying. And George was like, it's okay. You're doing the right thing. That's the right thing. Don't worry about anything here. I got it handled. And Isla, I could tell, just went shut down. And not shut down like, I don't love you.
So I didn't know how to deal with it.
I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
And she had 2 friends over. And they started getting their swimsuits on to get in the pool. And I, of course, was like, yes, of course, get in the pool. You know, move on with your day. I'm going to be fine. I wanted them to know I was going to be fine and not worry about me. So Isla comes in the bathroom while I'm getting ready to go. And she's just almost crying. And she's really freaked out. And I thought, okay, she's not sure what to do with herself. Georgia kind of goes, Sandy and Kat have this handled. They've got it handled.
Right.
I can rely on them. They'll take care of it. Isla was really shaken up, much differently than Georgia was. So actually, when she said, I want to stay at Lily's, I thought that's probably the best for her to be with Kathy. Because you and Kathy are her 2 other moms. So I thought being with Kathy is probably where she needs to be. So let her stay. What's she going to do? Sit at home and dwell on it and worry? Let her be distracted. I'm okay.
she needs to be the man of the household.
Georgia was the man. There's only room for one man because then she'd be emasculating Georgia, right? If she took over the man also.
Wasn't Georgia like, can I still go to my friend's house?
Yes. Georgia also had a swim party here. And as soon as Annie pulled up in the driveway, they scattered like cockroaches. So who knows what the hell was going on?
We saw it
Over
when
here.
Yeah,
came
we
in.
didn't want to say anything to upset you.
Oh,
But I
know.
saw it like all these kids on bicycles. I was like, what is this? And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, she's not going to put her party on hold for too long. No. She asked me before I went to the ER, does this mean I can't go to my friends?
Yeah, you told me
And
that.
Bert was like, put her on the phone.
Yeah.
Put her on the phone. Go in your room and close the door. And he like read her the riot act. And I was like, what's she going to do? Sit here? She's going to sit here in the house? Let her go to her friend's house.
Well, we're 7 hours in the emergency room.
I know, right? Yeah.
That was crazy.
It was crazy. The whole
Well,
thing was crazy.
Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad
I'm glad
we're
that
taking
you're okay. You don't have any visible scars, and that you are contemplating taking the vessel to the dock every now and then and letting it, get patched up.
Yeah, it's I guess for me it's a really hard lesson to learn. So I've been trying to learn this lesson for 50 years or at least 46 since I was
Yeah.
4. And I'm having a hard time with it. Every time I think I'm learning, something happens where I learn that I'm not learning. So,
Yeah, whatever your thing is in life, that your detriment, it always comes up, and you can go years without it surfacing, but it will always surface, and you'll be always forced to take a look at it.
To
Whether or
face
not
it,
you
yeah.
deal with it is another thing,
Right.
but it doesn't go away.
Right.
It's always there.
Yes, that's
and it
very
gets
true.
worse. It festers, right? So
Yes. It did for me. Well, I can say this. I have amazing friends. The 2 of you are amazing friends. Kathy's great friend. Lynn is great. I have great friends. And so many people sent me flowers, brought me cookies. Not that I can really eat cookies, but you made me congee. It was so great. I felt very cared for. So the vessel felt a little polished up, even if there's a little hole in the side. And I really want to thank you, Sandy, for coming over Sunday. Because I don't think I had told you that I had that conversation with myself in the ER where I thought this was exhaustion. There's nothing really wrong with me. I just walked. But you basically said that to me, and I appreciate that. I want friends that tell me what they think. I don't want friends who placate me or don't say you need to fucking go to the ER and then show up 2 days later and say you're not taking care of yourself and that is the problem. I really appreciate that. You're the only person who said that to me, except, well, you said that to me, I think, too. But one of George's friends' moms, who's a new friend, sent me flowers. And I didn't tell her any details of what was going on. And when I called her yesterday, she said to me, you know this is from exhaustion. And you know this is because you're not taking care of yourself. And and I was like, God damn it. I got it loud and clear. I got it. It's coming from 8 areas, except this new information that Laylee has brought forward that someone pushed me. That's a new one. So I'll have to put that in the mix too.
Shit, man.
So
God.
I appreciate everything you did for me on that day, after the day, for your honesty. It really means a lot to me that you're honest with me and saying, no, you fucking have to go. And that you stayed with me all day, Kat. I kept going, go home. You don't need to sit here.
You're like, go home.
I felt so
never
bad.
leave anybody in the emergency room.
I know Tom was like, just leave her there. And then I'm like, well, that's what you would do.
He did that in London.
London with me.
We were in the emergency room in London with Kylie had a broken arm the foot.
Her leg
And
thing, yeah.
Sandy's the same way. You don't have to stay. You can go. I'm like, I'm not leaving you here.
I would never leave
Bloody
anybody, but I
foreign
would
English people.
I would never want anybody to be there all day long either.
I know, but it's for me, I'm not like, I don't have a bleeding face or an injured child. It's like you need people with you.
Yeah, you do.
You
You
really
need something
do
to lean
need
on.
someone with you, because when you're on your own there, it's I know we can all handle it because we're capable women, but it's just a comfort.
Yeah.
It just really is important.
It's very foreign to me. It's not something that would ever occur to me that I would need, because my needs are wants, right? I don't really think like that. I don't think about what I need. That's why Sweet Bert says for your 50th, I want to get you a piece of jewelry. He is traumatized by the fact that he bought me a gold velour tracksuit.
As he should be.
Valentine's Day.
He should be.
He feels that now I am the most ungrateful
and Tom and
person.
I made fun of him. Like,
it was
so
awful.
much.
Well, you told me about it.
The stir of the pot over there.
Oh,
Sandy,
yeah. It was
made
good.
my night a living hell after that night. He was
You
like,
told me
"That's it."
about the velour tracksuit.
It-
and I'm like,
it's the wrong color for me.
it's velour.
It-
Color or not, it's velour.
I could have swung like maybe black velour. I don't know, but what I asked for was basically I have this tracksuit that I love, that I live in when it's cold, but they have different varieties, like it's gray. So get me a black one or get me a light gray one. It has stripes around the ankle. Get me one with a stripe down the side. I wanted the same thing, but a different variation. And he just went to the most expensive thing they sold, which is what he does. The most expensive thing they sold is a velour tracksuit. So he bought me the best, which is amazing that he wants to give me the best.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, this was his thought process. It's the most expensive thing they have. It's the best thing they sell. And she looks great in gold jewelry. And I went, but baby, gold jewelry is a touch of a color. This is a fucking tracksuit. The whole thing is gold. That's a completely different, and he can't even hear it. Fine. I'm just never buying you anything again. So he called me about my 50th and he said, I want to send this lady who has jewelry. She works with the jeweler to get you a nice piece of jewelry for your 50th birthday.
Oh, and you're not, I got a text from him. You're not allowed to ask the price.
I'm sure.
You're
I knew
not
that
allowed
was
that.
coming.
And I asked him for the budget. I'm like, that's great. So we get 2 pieces, one for me and one for you.
3 pieces.
Yeah. And I was like, that should be enough.
So this stuff makes me so anxious because of that same piece, I'm sure, to go at my needs or wants. To actually think that I should have a fancy piece of jewelry is just asinine to me.
So
Makes
yeah,
me so
tomorrow
uncomfortable.
you're not allowed. If it's something you like,
But I
That's
mean,
it.
Leanne, that's really interesting. Can't you just look at it as a thing of beauty, like a beautiful object?
I
Because
do,
that's what
but
I do when I mean, obviously I love jewelry, and I always look at it as a beautiful object.
I do on other people. I just don't do it on me.
Yeah, that's why he said, please don't let her look at the price. And don't ask for the price. Just something that she likes.
Yeah, but I that's great because I think we can really look and try and find some stuff that looks really good, that feels good, that you can enjoy wearing.
Yes.
Because you wear jewelry.
I do wear jewelry. Most of it were gifts, were something someone bought for me, or as total costume. Like I bought these at a fundraiser. Well, of course, because it's a fundraiser. You know, of course I'm going to buy something that's for school. But I just have a really hard time caring for myself or rewarding myself or doing anything
Shit,
like that.
I'm the polar opposite.
But that's why I called you. You see, I needed help.
Damn.
I called you and said, will you come please help me do this?
Yeah,
because
no,
I'm going to say I don't want anything.
No,
Take
we're
it all
going to
home.
have fun.
Yeah,
we're
we're
going to
gonna
find
have
some
fun.
really beautiful pieces, and hopefully she brings some good stuff. I'm sure she will.
We'll see. I hope so. She did this ring, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. Very,
So-
very nice. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see. But anyway, thank you very much for everything you did during this accident, for your friendship, for Drop Squad.
Yeah, Drop
Which
Squad's
is-
super cool, isn't it?
That's
It's turned
amazing.
into something great.
It's turned into something really powerful.
You know, I have to tell you, Sherry and Bia and Susan have been going to him for years, and they tell me those stories. I'm like, I'm never going to that guy. He sounds like an asshole. And then the window opened up, and Sherry's like, do you want to come with me? I'm like, that guy's an asshole. She's like, yeah, it's fine. I went, and then I was sold.
Yeah.
And then Sandy with her frozen shoulder,
Right?
She was walking around like a cripple.
She was. She
And
kept leaning against the doorway and going like this. She
Tom
was like a
yelling
zombie.
at her. Tom was yelling at her. Yeah. She's like, at least I'm trying. They're fighting over it. And then I'm like, I asked Mikkel, I'm like, my really good girlfriend, she has a frozen shoulder. Do you think you can fix it? And he's so picky, you know, about who he takes on. He's so picky.
And
Well,
Kat's like, don't
how-
say anything.
how
Just
well-
do whatever he
How
says.
well do you know her? I'm like, she's really a good friend. Because by that time we'd bonded.
Yeah.
She's really a good friend. I don't know. I'll assess her. And then of course he loved her right away.
Of course.
And then Sandy said, you know, Leanne wants to join. Do you think you can ask him?
And
I'm
I
like, yeah, I
said,
gotta wait for the right
wrong
time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, you know, I have this good girlfriend. I think you're really gonna like her because she's from the South. She's country. You're gonna, you know, he's from
Yeah.
Yeah, we keep
Atlanta.
saying.
He's from Georgia, Louisiana.
And then he keeps saying, why you guys keep saying she's country? I said, well, she's country.
What's
That's
my
why
nickname?
He's calling you
Country.
country.
What's my nickname? He calls me Country. I didn't even think he knew my name.
I knew immediately you guys would bond. Immediately.
Yeah, I think that he is some kind of soulmate of mine. We
Yeah.
speak the same language.
Yeah, you do.
And
do.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Every single piece of him. I feel like he's the preacher, and I've been.
He's a very spiritual
looking for-
guy. He
He
really
is
is. And
very-
he's very insightful. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes he goes on his tangents.
Yes.
But he's
Yes.
very insightful. He knows, like, he can say something. You know, he said some stuff to me while I'm working out, and that's why you're still single. And
Oh my God.
right.
I think about it, I'm like, he's probably right.
He
actually.
is right. Yeah, he's an amazing person. And
Yeah, he really is a special person.
He is.
He really is.
he's changed my life. My body is completely
I
different.
mean, you're a totally
he
different
does
person.
care,
Yeah,
even
he
though he
does.
doesn't think that he does. He's like really
I
hard
know
on
he
us,
does.
but
No.
he cares.
Yeah.
He cares
He is
very
a-
much.
yes.
I mean, you guys, your bodies have changed. So
Oh, yeah.
mine not so much, but you guys have, I mean, both of you, you look completely different.
My body is a completely
You've
different
Oh,
shape.
lost
yeah,
so
it's-
much weight.
I've only lost 20 pounds, which
Only?
well, 20 is a lot.
Shit.
You're like 5'3". I mean, come on, that's a
I'm
lot.
5'4", cat.
Okay, whatever. Okay, you're a giant.
No. What's really crazy is I've lost 20 pounds in the past, but clothes didn't fit me like they do
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So it's not the same. It's not the same. My legs don't even look like my legs anymore. They look
And
totally
Sandy,
different.
you look amazing.
You do with your little half
Amazing.
top you
Tell
wear.
you,
You
He
look
always
like you
make
have the
fun of
body
me.
of a 30-year-old.
You 30
You really-
for sure.
Really? I mean, you
look amazing.
No, I mean, I wear crop tops all the time now.
Crop tops and booty shorts.
You wear crop tops and shorts. You're like, I mean, I can't do that, but because I'm the lazy one, right? Because I'm the one who loves to eat and I don't follow the diet and I don't give a shit. And but you can tell because I've still got some vavoom on me. But whatever, you got to take the.
I haven't been spot on with my diet, which is what he started to say. Maybe this happened because you hadn't been spot on with your diet.
When he said today,
That's
when
not
he's like, I
why
gotta
that
ask
happened.
everybody a question: Are you
know,
a
right?
talker or are you a listener?
Oh, Jesus.
And I thought he was gonna ask us, go around and ask about our weight.
I
was like, oh,
I wasn't
shit.
even going to get into that. I wasn't even going to get.
No,
into
I wasn't
that.
going to answer that either.
I did. I stupidly.
know you
I'm
did.
like,
You walked
fucking
into the
hey,
bear trap.
I knew he was talking about me because he thought I looked at the screen. I couldn't even fucking see him.
But he wasn't.
I know he wasn't. But
He was
wasn't
talking
because-
about Cherie.
yeah,
Poor Sherry. He is so hard on
he's
her.
so
He is so hard on her.
He's even harder on Bea and Susan though. But Bea, they're combative with him. I'm doing it. Come on, man. I'm doing it.
It's because
They
they're
just-
older.
they-
that he
they're
lets
older
them
and
do
they
that.
just, and he's really hard on them.
I mean, you think he's that hard on those tubs?
not at all. He's not hard on the tubs at all.
I know.
But why not?
Exactly.
They must be paying him a buttload of money. That's all I can
I mean,
think
when
of.
they text him, it's like, yeah, make a double with fries.
They accidentally
Oops.
texted him.
Yes, she told me that. I was like, whoa.
You think so I think last time it was them. Remember he said that they keep closing the screen on him because he said, hey, you can close all you want. You're still fat. And then they close it. It's like, yeah, close it again and open up. And when you open up the screen, you're still fat. You're still fat. He's so mean.
But we're apart from the Olympiads that train there, we're the only ones that actually do the thing. You know, that we're not gaining weight.
No.
But he's got all those other women that come in.
They make no change at all. That must
No.
be really frustrating. It's like a therapist who has the same person complaining about the same thing, no movement. That would drive me crazy. He must, he says to us, he really looks forward to the hour because we do the work.
Yeah.
And it's clear in everybody's body. It's clear in your body too, Kat. It's clear
Thank you.
that you work
It's
out.
hard.
It's very hard.
I mean, my whole body hurts today because I haven't worked out for a month, right?
And then two
we
days
did
in a
2
row.
days in a row.
Really,
And I'm like, what the?
it was life-changing for me. And I want to have the three of us and Mikkel on the podcast to talk about it because I think, the cool thing about Mikkel is, to me anyway, is he is very insightful and almost intuitive.
Yeah.
yes,
And
he is.
he's
that's what makes him really
completely
good.
honest.
Yeah.
So, and what people don't like hearing the truth.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant to hear the truth.
Yeah.
It sucks sometimes. And he has no problem just taking you to task on things. And I think that's what you have to do in life, mentally, emotionally, in every way, to affect change, is you have to really take yourself to task on something and go, like, I freaking took myself to task and went, okay, I'm going to reassess everything and rebalance things, start my podcast, do more for myself. And all of a sudden now I've drifted off the road. So I have to, now that this has happened, take myself to task again and look at every single thing like you were thinking before. My thought and my behavior, my thought. Well, I'd gotten lazy and gotten back into my old ways. Well, now I got to go back. And I think he's really good at saying, this is not the path. You need to be on this path. And people choose not to walk it, like the Tubbs who shut the screen, if that's who actually shut the screen.
It has to be the Tubbs. I mean, those guys are like crazy.
How are they comfortable in their body? The reason I really wanted to see Mikkel was two reasons. One was I had this back injury, and the chiropractor said, I've taken you as far as I can. From here on out, you have to build muscle. This is all muscular. I can keep adjusting you, but it's not going to stay in place because your muscles surrounding that joint are not strong enough. So you need to work out. So I'd started doing Beachbody, and I was like, I'm working out. I'm doing my core. I was in pain every fucking day. every day. So I was like, I'm not working out the right way. And I don't really know what that means.
Mm.
And then the other reason was I was losing so much strength. I was clearly 20 pounds overweight, but I was losing so much physical strength for doing stupid stuff like standing up at the dryer. I'd be like, God, that took everything out of me just to stand up from squatting down. I'm only 50. This should not be how I feel. I don't want this to be. If it's this way now, what am I going to be like at 60? I can't do this. I don't want this to be who I am. So I can't thank you enough for getting me in there because I know you had to wait for the moment.
Yeah.
He's really busy, but no, I really
I know.
enjoy
Now I
it.
feel bad asking him for the 8 o'clock, but he's going to make
He's
it work for
fine.
us.
He'll be fine.
He'll
He'll be
figure it out.
fine.
Yeah.
And if
You know, if he
can't,
can't, he won't.
Yeah.
You know, that's
He
that's
does
what it
like
is.
us. I think we have fun together.
Yeah,
I mean, we talk a lot of shit.
He does. I mean, you know, Marsha was the first woman from our group that found him, and she's been with him, I don't know, a long time. And she's in Sherry's age group. She's maybe 70. She has the body of a 35-year-old.
Oh my God.
But she stopped going to him.
Why?
And it really hurt his feelings. She just said, "Oh, it just doesn't work for me anymore. I'm doing Pilates and this, that, and the other." And he basically built her, you know, into this amazing shape over the years. And, you know, he was very, very upset. So he does take it personally. He really does care. And more than that, he's an amazing trainer.
Yeah.
His correction. I mean, even on the Zoom, he can see the slightest thing that you're doing that would cause you pain. He makes corrections. He knows exactly what to do.
He's an expert in his field.
Yeah, he
for
really
sure.
is.
He is
He
an
really is.
expert. I don't know why he hasn't blown up somehow. Maybe he just doesn't have any more
Because
time.
he's an actor.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do. That's his true passion is acting. I mean, I think he could have been a Beachbody star and made millions, but that's not what he wants to do. That's really not what he wants to do. He likes doing movies, which is a shit show. If I could do my life again, I wouldn't be doing movies, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's a tough hang. Trust me. It's a tough hang.
Yeah, it is.
Even to be on the side and support.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
It's a really hard job and it's exhausting, but you know.
Well, thanks for talking about this.
Thanks for
on
inviting
my
us.
podcast.
Yes.
Thank you. Sandy, people constantly ask me to have Sandy on. And I'm like, I don't want to waste her time and just talk about nothing. She's like famous.
She's like, call my people.
She's
Yeah,
famous.
have your people call my people.
See if they can schedule her.
Well, thanks for talking. Thanks for
I'm
being
glad
such great
you're okay,
friends.
Leanne.
And I'm looking forward to tomorrow
Yes, it'll be fun.
to shopping.
Yeah. Let me know. I'm really looking forward to it.
All right.